Hi there. So this video is for anyone who is feeling guilt and shame as they're moving through the stages of grief. I don't know how guilt and shame necessarily is part of grief. I guess maybe it could be in in many ways an attempt. If we can feel guilty or say that we're guilty, then what we're telling ourselves is we had some sort of power or control over something that we did not. And, when we're trying to regain some kind of sense of control, we're in the process of bargaining or we're in the process of denial. Okay. I don't know this. I did not have this on here, and then I heard something, and I was like, "Oh, I should put guilt and shame," and I really wrestled. But so that makes sense. Okay, so if you are wrestling with that, this video is for you. We want some guidance and comfort from Spirit, some understanding of, or for those who are feeling guilt and shame. What is that about? Okay. Yeah. So we got 6. The Lover's card is from the Major Arcana. This is really a card of choice. It is Lovers. It's a balance of the masculine and the feminine. We all have opportunities to make choices, and from a higher perspective, there is no judgment on, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? It just is a thing. It's a choice that you made. We have free will, and we're all growing spiritually throughout our life, our 100 years that we're here, and throughout maybe many lifetimes. Our spirit and our soul is growing and growing. And so we want to kind of like not get into that space of, too much shame, I am bad, and use, the times when maybe we recognize after growing through something that if we made a mistake that we can make amends, we can choose to go back and make amends. This is also the card of Gemini. It's something happening in Gemini. I can't remember what it is. Is it something's moving into Gemini, but I don't remember. And so at the bottom of the deck, that's interesting. At the bottom of the deck is the 4 of Cups. He's really in a state of potentially, melancholy or regret, focusing so much on, these 3 cups and not looking at this cup of love and compassion and possibility for even more love from Spirit. He's just focused on these. So I guess I am going to get a clarifier for this Lover's card. It could be that you're feeling guilty about choices that you've made in relationships. Let's see. Let's get a clarifier for this one. Whoa. A lot of clarifiers there. Okay. Could be in choices that you've made with money. In how choices that you've made with money, choices that you've had to make maybe between, taking care of your own and sharing. It can be maybe about you're a boss and you have to let people go, it could be choices you made to invest, choices you've made in who to trust, and how we know what we know when we know it. And yeah, sure, if we make choices that are selfish or based in ego, that's generally driven by fear, and this is an opportunity to grow through that. Okay, the Fool is at the bottom of the deck, and then you've got Ace of Pentacles following that. Opportunity for a brand new start. If you take whatever it is that you're reflecting on where you're feeling guilt. Now, guilt and shame are two different things. One, guilt is valid. We need to have guilt if we've done something wrong. Truly have. If we haven't, then that's about shame. Shame is about, I am wrong. I am bad. Guilt is, geez, I'm really sorry. I regret that I did that. And I can make amends. I can, or I think that you can feel a deep sadness. Let's say as a boss and you have to let some employees go. Are you doing something that's bad that you should feel guilty for, or is that over responsibility? Once again, are you believing and telling yourself that you have some sort of control over something and you don't? Or where you don't? That's over responsibility, codependency. You can feel deep compassion and empathy and sadness and frustration for having to make difficult choices like this. But in the end, sometimes the choices are made for us, and there's nothing that we can do. So, guidance, Spirit, what can those who are feeling a sense of guilt and shame do right now? For some guidance, we do in this very challenging time. And our world is being turned upside down. We do. Feeling guilt, shame. Oh, got the Ace of Pentacles at the bottom of this deck as well, which is wonderful. Okay, so another Five of Swords. If you look through this series, if you happen to watch any of the other videos, the other emotions that are coming through as part of grief, I'm getting so many fives. It's really interesting, and 5 is the number of change, and with change often comes challenges and conflicts, right? It's working things out. This is a conflict card, but it's a change of mental energy. It can be verbal arguments, what I'm sort of at a loss as to why this would be here and the what to do. So let me just think about this for a second. I think that it is important to recognize where you do have control and where you don't. That what we're going through right now is sort of like a balancing out or a correcting of certain things that we're seeing come to light that are not working. Certainly, you know, a virus, a pandemic hitting the world is not necessarily a balancing out, but it isn't necessarily not. But what it's bringing up is all this other stuff, right? And it's causing a lot of fighting, arguing, debating, finger pointing, you know, who knows. So I think if you have had to stick up for yourself, if you have had to fight for your space or your rights or your needs, your position, and take care of your people, so that as long as you're not harming others, right? There's nothing to feel guilty. Oh, shoot. I want to get a clarifier. Oh, that was fast. And then we've got 5 of Cups spilled here. Princess of Wands. I mean, she's contemplating, right? Like what she wants and what she desires. She appears to me to be kind of newly awakening into what she wants and what she desires, and she may have acted rashly. She may have acted out of naivete because of a new emerging passion. I mean, I don't know, maybe somebody out there was having another, you know, relationship that they or is yeah, somebody maybe acting selfishly, potentially. We all make choices. If you are feeling guilty, it's make amends. Get clear on what it is that you really want, that you want to create. Huh. Well, let's see what else comes out here. All right. You know, there's some cards under here that look very, like there is some deception. There is something, and this isn't going to fit for everyone. Okay, I gave you different scenarios going through here. Some people have nothing to feel guilty for, and maybe some people do. potential outcome here. Wow. Whoa. Lordy, lordy. Okay, look at that. 3 queens. This is the princess. So the princess, the young fire energy, moves into the queen. She's experienced, she's confident. She's prepared. She makes no apologies for what she wants and what she is willing to accept. She's got great boundaries. They all do. The potential outcome, I think, here is that when tempted, if you can really sit with whatever it is that you're feeling guilty about and let go of shame, use it as a lesson. I think that you are going to learn to, potentially, you will learn to carefully and consciously and confidently and courageously go for what it is that you want, that you will not be tempted by fantasies and illusions. You will speak your truth and live in integrity with gratitude for what you have, all that you have. You will be honest. There will be no slippery slopes in your boundaries. And we have the Magician at the bottom of the deck. And there is a need to go through a period of grieving for whatever has happened in your world. But this is, you're going to grow immensely out of this. Empress, 4 cards down. So, yeah, let's get some oracle cards. Let's get a little bit more direct messaging here. Did I show you these cards? So you've got the Queen of Wands, 7 of Cups. What do you want in those cups? And not delusions and illusions. What are you going to pick? What's the opportunities and the possibilities here? If there's something missing, do you want to stick it in that cup? Choose that. Speaking with integrity. Acting with integrity. Hardcore boundaries. No blurred boundaries. Gratitude for and nurturing of everything that you have. Not needing more. Complete gratitude and nurturing, knowing that that is what creates abundance. And when you need more, you'll have more. Okay. So from the Spirit Animal Oracle deck from Colette Baron Reed. Ow. I love that 3 queens came out. That's amazing. Okay. Ooh. Hawk Spirit. Let spirit be your guide. This is what that deck looks like. Hawk Spirit, let Spirit be your guide. 32. Need to get up to a higher perspective here. Flying high above the landscape, the hawk sees both the big picture and the small details, observes the rain in the pond as well as the cloud, and doesn't miss anything. When Hawk Spirit arrives, you are called to pay close attention to messages from Spirit that can appear anywhere in any form. Listen to your intuition and keep your eyes open for synchronicities and meaningful coincidences. Hawk Spirit asks you not to dismiss the signs that Spirit is sending to guide you. Lately, have you been hearing the same word or song or coming across the same symbol here, there, and in stranger places? Perhaps you hear a song on the radio with just the right lyric pertaining to your query, or you begin to notice uncanny billboards, license plates, or other places where repetitive numbers or words show up for you to notice. Pay attention to the animals that appear for you and connect with their symbolism. Spirit wants to communicate and reaches out again and again. When Hawk Spirit appears, it is a sign to listen. Are you noticing red flags? Perhaps saying to yourself, oh, what pretty flags, and giving them no more thought? Hawk Spirit has arrived to tell you to stop and listen to the messages from Spirit. Take the time to observe the patterns you are seeing and do not miss your intuition. Sometimes we make choices because we override our intuition. You have a gut feeling like, red flag, don't go there. We override it, we go there, and then we have to suffer the consequences. Take time to observe the patterns you are seeing and do not miss your intuition. Even if the messages you receive are not supported by evidence in the physical world. If it feels illogical to listen right now, listen anyway. Sometimes you might want certain signs and messages to mean what you want them to mean, interpreting through the lens of wishful thinking. A projection of your desire to see things a certain way. No more illusions and delusions. Of course, when you do that, you rarely find yourself where you want to be. Take heart. Spirit loves you so much and does not want you to get hurt, but to align with Spirit's plan for your highest good. Listen and follow the signs and check your motives when you are being selective with your hearing. What are your motives? What were your motives, maybe? No judgment. Have to be compassionate with yourself. We have to be able to forgive ourselves, but also make amends. Feel the deep regret. Learn the lessons, but no judgment. No shame. It is not helpful at all. Okay. Sorry, let me listen. Okay. Odin, psychic insight. Again, your third eye is open. See truth for what it is and follow your intuition. Another intuition card. Okay. Psychic insight. Odin is the Norse all-father god who is revered to the present day. He is a powerful, all-seeing, all-knowing god. His twin flame is Freya, and like her, he has a raven totem. Interesting. So you have the hawks, the raven. The story goes that he surrendered one of his eyes at a mystical spring called Mimer, so that he could gain the wisdom of the ages. He is a strong but somewhat wild character who helps us reawaken our natural psychic instincts and open our third eye so we can look beyond the physical senses and into the spiritual realms. He also helps us recognize that it's okay to have insights into what's happening next. After all, we are the creators of our path. Odin guards the runic alphabet too, and works closely with signs, symbols, and omens. Are you kidding me? You are being encouraged to look beyond what your physical eyes are showing you. Look within and follow your intuition or psychic visions. You may want to plan ahead at this time. It's important to keep your mind and energy focused on the best possible outcome. There will be signs and symbols from the light to tell you that you are on the right path. Beware of winged beings gracing your path as a wink from Odin and the light keepers to say that they are honoring your work. You have some choices to make and you're feeling guilty or scared of making the wrong choices, recognize that if you've done nothing wrong, there's no reason to feel guilt. You may want to tap into another feeling, but a more authentic feeling to not be in a space of over responsibility. However, maybe in order to help you to make a decision, to make a choice, it's time for you to connect to your psychic senses and your intuition and start paying attention to signs and symbols from spirit. You've got 3 queens here. Once again, another nod towards the only one missing here is the Queen of Cups, who is the Queen of Intuition. And so, really hone that skill. Intuition, compassion. Okay. Dearest you, selfless giving is an elixir so sweet and life-giving and amazing that it should be customary for everyday living. Right now, generosity is being asked of you. Let go of a debt, release an obligation, or do a solid kindness to someone for no other reason than as an exercise of the heart. You will be surprised how quickly a generous heart is repaid. We know it often doesn't happen in the immediate exchange, so temper your expectations. Know that life has an uncanny way of sending miracles seemingly unrelated to your kindness, yet interconnected in magical ways. The more you act from generosity, the bigger your heart grows, and the more love and abundance you will experience. We also know that someone could be entering your life with a generous offer for you. Take it and trust you are worthy and deserving of it. You have to receive, not just give. We love you so much over here. With love. Spirit. Okay. Sending you much love, honey. Be you. It is okay to be in this space. Make sure that if you are feeling guilt, that you have something to feel guilty about. And really connect. It's important that we're all connecting with our intuition and recognizing ourselves as co-creators, creating a reality that we want. And so we need you to be there. You're a very important part of all of us. So be well, take care of yourself, take care of you and yours. And thank you for being here and letting me do what I do.